Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name is Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. We begin in national news with fallout continuing over what appears to be a major national security breach involving the White House National Security Advisor himself and journalists. The Vice President, Defense Secretary, Secretary of State, all reportedly connected to an incident where they're accused of planning a U.S. military operation on a non-government app and accidentally including a journalist. Lawmakers in both parties say it's critical to find out exactly what happened and how. Amy Kiley has more.
You can be sure the committee, House and Senate, will be looking into this.
Calls for answers are growing after cabinet members allegedly texted about U.S. military plans on an app. Editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, Jeffrey Goldberg, says he was mistakenly added to the group chat on Signal. That's an encrypted app, but it's not considered a secure government channel. Goldberg says the group was planning this month's U.S. military strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen.
I'm sitting in a Safeway parking lot watching my phone and realizing, oh my God, this might be real. I think Pete Hegseth just sent this group actual targeting information, actual sequencing of an attack.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth denies sending war plans, but the Trump administration has acknowledged the messages seem to be authentic. Several officials say the White House views the incident as a major error.
I was shocked.
The Atlantic says Mike Waltz convened the chat. He's the National Security Advisor, a role John Bolton held in the first Trump administration.
So let's forget the classification issue. How can you conduct official government business over a non-official channel?
The Espionage Act makes it a crime to mishandle classified information. Democrats are demanding an investigation, and some Republicans are calling for accountability.
It's a security violation, and there's no doubt that Russia and China saw this stuff.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Closer to home, a state highway is reopened near the site of a weekend fire at an abandoned factory in southeast Nebraska. U.S. Highway 77 back open to traffic in Beatrice. It had been shut down as fire crews continued working hot spots after the fire at the former Dempster property on Friday. Now, while the road is open, the sidewalk in front of the building still blocked off. City officials say investigation into the blaze continues. It's believed to have been incendiary, meaning it was set by someone, whether intentional or not. A wanted poster, meanwhile, is online and a reward being offered by the Nebraska Wildlife Crime Stoppers as they search for information relating to that fire at Red Willow over the weekend. The State Game and Parks Commission says there was a violation of the active campfire ban in the park because of the red flag warning and overall dry conditions. Anyone who has tips can call them into Crime Stoppers anonymously, and any information leading to an arrest would be eligible for a reward, the amount of which has not been stated. You can search Crime Stoppers at outdoornebraska.gov to report any details. Portions of the Red Willow SRA are still closed as the investigation continues.
When the next severe weather event happens, don't get caught in the dark. Power your kitchen, HVAC, and communication systems with a Jackery solar-capable generator. Just click on our YouTube affiliate shopping tab and you're on your way. And Husker fans, the Explorer series is perfect for tailgating.
Norris Public Power District says they're in the final stages of getting energy restored for customers nearly a week after a damaging storm knocked down hundreds of power poles across the region. Over 100 linemen are still out making repairs throughout southeast Nebraska. Norris Public Power says some 60% of its customers lost electricity. At the peak of the outage, it's down to about 3% as of Tuesday morning. That's under 1,000 customers, mostly centered in Seward County. For the first time in several days Monday, the winds died down. That gave linemen a better opportunity to fix all the downed lines, poles, and transmitters. Well, a new facility in North Platte is open. It's estimated to bring in over $1 billion economically each year to the area. The facility held its ribbon cutting and grand opening yesterday. Peter Rice was there and has more.
And this is the home of North Platte's newest sustainable beef plant. It boasts an impressive 560,000 square feet and will house over 800 new employees. And more than 1,200 people attended Monday's ribbon-cutting event.
The beef plant in North Platte was constructed in 30 months' time after first being announced back in March of 2021. And the concept for the plant was formed by cattlemen in west central Nebraska. And they further collaborated with local investors and eventually partnered with Walmart for their distribution. Officials added that the project seemed improbable at points, but were able to persevere due to lots of community support and collaboration in order to get it done.
At the time we did this, there was a lot of interest in the industry to increase what's called shackle space or more capacity, and there was about 15 of these projects announced. This is the only project that actually occurred, and so it's, that alone shows how rare and how hard these projects are to get done.
And Briggs added that the new plant is a huge win for local cattle producers, and that it will bring a huge economic boost to the local and state economy.
So Ernie Goss from Creighton University, he did a study for us, our economic impact study, and he estimates $1.2 billion a year every single year for the city of North Platte. And he estimates there'll be over 2,000 new employees in North Platte because of this addition of economic activity.
And Sustainable Beef will be beginning hiring line workers in early May, with the facility beginning operations at the end of the month. And officials tell me it'll take several months afterwards to become fully operational, but locals will soon be able to notice the positive financial and agriculture benefits across the state. From North Platte, Peter Rice, News Channel Nebraska.
A Nebraska athletic department is getting fined, and some athletes are facing sanctions after incidents at a recent softball game. The Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference announced in a statement that Chadron State has been fined. It stems from a softball game against New Mexico Highlands last month, where attendees said on social media that Chadron State fans chanted racially insensitive comments toward New Mexico Highlands players, referencing their immigration status and green cards. Chadron State said in a statement the comments came from student athletes in attendance who will be facing sanctions, but didn't specify the degree of punishment they'll receive. A Southeast Nebraska Board of Education going to voters for a multi-million-dollar upgrade. Tri-County School Board has approved putting to the voters the question of approving a $21.5 million bond. That bond would help pay for a wide range of projects: new career, tech, ag, and art facilities, an expanded preschool, a new auditorium, new gym, locker rooms, and updated press boxes and grandstands. School officials say they're planning community meeting dates to discuss the bond in more detail. Ballots in the special election are due May 13th. City governments have their own way of keeping track of what type of developments and practices work best for them. One city in central Nebraska has approved new guidelines to revamp future developments for the first time in about a decade and a half. Hastings City Council voted Monday to approve a new comprehensive plan, which has been in the works since 2022. The former plan that recommends guidelines for practices around the city had been in place since 2009. Among the notable updates in the 144-page document include expanding residential density. That means developers would be able to build more housing per acre. Plus, it spells out guidelines on criteria when the city can annex land nearby city limits. The city's Director of Development Services says the new document won't change anything immediately, but says it will pave the way to make development easier in the future.
It's the starting block or the foundation of that. So we'll start here with this policy document, and then next step will be staff, and we'll propose to the Planning Commission and the City Council some new regulations, and we hope it allows for smoother building plans and easier development, as well as allow for more types of development across the city, just to help out in a variety of ways.
The new comprehensive plan was unanimously approved 7-0. You can find more information about the plan in this article at our website, newschannelnebraska.com. And the cost of college has skyrocketed over the last 3 decades. To help make a degree more accessible to some, Harvard University recently announced they're offering free tuition for students from families that make $200,000 or less. Undergraduate tuition, about $56,000 this year alone at Harvard. So why is college so expensive? Well, Jen Sullivan looks at the numbers and what some students can do to help cut down the cost.
The cost of college has risen dramatically in the last 3 decades. Inflation and increasing operating costs have caused colleges to charge more. They're also receiving less federal funding.
There's no doubt that college in the U.S. is expensive.
Alex Gailey is an analyst at financial company Bankrate. They recently broke down the cost of tuition plus fees like room and board for this current academic year and estimated the average in-state tuition and room and board at a public four-year college was nearly $25,000 a year. Out-of-state students paid an average of $44,000 a year. A private four-year college costs close to $59,000 a year.
I think people just aren't feeling like maybe the ROI of college degrees is the same as it was a few decades ago.
There are things students can do to lower some of these costs.
One way to immediately cut down the cost of college is being willing to attend a college that is near where you live and living at home.
Consider attending a community college and then transferring to a four-year college. Apply for work-study jobs. Look into financial help like student loans, scholarships, and grants. And choose a degree with a positive return on your investment. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com, click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. This is News Channel Nebraska.